gentlemen, welcome back to GPG 22 Legends and Rising Stars. Our next bout of this evening takes place at 125 pounds for the title. Desmond M80 Moore is taking on Andrew Animal Shea, coming all the way from Canada. Let's take a look at the video.
All right, I'm here with Des Moore. Des Moore is 4-0 at 125 pounds. He's fighting for the belt of GPG 22. Let me tell you, when the UFC has a 115-pound weight limit, Des is clearly going to be one of the contenders for the World Championship. But Des calls James Jefferson up, let me get over there. Can I fight 125? Come up and fight for a belt. American top team veteran. I know you relocated to Florida. Des, tell everybody out there how you're feeling. I know you came up from Florida to win this belt. How's it feel?
Hey, I feel good. You know, it was a long trip, not a long trip, but came up here, you know, in this cold. People are telling me, you know, I gotta get used to it again or whatever. But you know, I came out here to do work like I always do, and yeah, I'm up a weight class, but I feel good. I don't have anything to worry about weight-wise, so I just come in naturally strong and ready to go. So I'm excited about tomorrow.
Well, I am too. I'm lucky because I got to watch you mature as a fighter. I got to see your first few amateur fights. I've been to almost every one of your fights. I've seen you evolve from a brilliant athlete and a wrestler who could take anybody down to your striking. The last fight, I was very impressed with your Muay Thai. Your knees are vicious right now. I think that your striking game has improved tremendously. But I also noticed a comment about you out there. You have really good cage awareness. I know you train with some great guys. Like I said, the ceiling is really high for you. We're happy to have you at GPG 22. Tell Dana White why he should be over here on this side of the bridge watching Des Moore in the cage do his thing.
Because you got a guy that can fight at 115 and is going to go up and do the same damage at 125.
M80, Des Moore, the real deal. He's coming to the next level. Our Andrew Shea I'm here with came down from Canada, fighting for the 125-pound GPG title. Andrew, how's your trip down? How you feeling weight cut-wise, physically, mentally, coming into foreign territory here?
Oh, I feel great. It was a great cut. I had one of the best training camps to date, coming from a tough team, Team Ascension down in Canada. I'm excited. It's good. I put in a lot of hard work. I brought down a few you guys to help me train, so I'm excited for tomorrow night.
Have you got a chance to do any scouting, watch Des Moore, some of his fights? What do you think about his overall game? I know he hasn't lost as a pro yet. He has a pretty balanced game. What do you think about your opponent?
He's a tough fighter. You know, I give him a lot of respect, a lot of credit. He can stand and bang, and he's a good wrestler as well. But you know, like I said, I brought down a few guys to help me train, and I'm excited. I'm ready to impose my will on him. So should be good.
Andrew the Animal Shea goes for the belt, 125 pounds, GPG 22. See him in action.
You'll notice a significant height difference between Shea and Moore. Now, this is not anything Moore has never seen before, but Shea is a very long, very tall, very lean fighter. 6-4, 2 wins by submission, 2 wins by knockout, 2 wins by decision. He's extremely well-rounded. Now, 10 professional fights, that's a lot of experience under his belt. He's gonna pose a very significant challenge to the GPG poster child, which is Des Moore, because we love Des Moore here at the GPG events. But Andrew Shea is coming down. He's going to steal Moore's thunder. He is going to take that belt back with him up to Canada, wherever he comes from.
And the crowd is going nuts for the hometown boy, Desmond M80 Moore, recently making the move to Coconut Creek, Florida, to train with American Top Team down there, an American Top Team athlete up here as well. He's coming at us 26 years old, standing 5 feet even, 125 pounds. He's usually fighting at 115. He's making the step up to 125. Eddie Alvarez, Chris Carley in his corner. Tell us a little bit about Desmond M80 Moore Jackson.
As his nickname suggests, he is explosive and he is looking to take your head off. Des Moore, 4-0, 4 TKOs or KOs. He is tough, very, very strong wrestling background. So he's added fast hands, explosive knockout power to that grappling arsenal. Very big challenge in front of him in Andrew Shea. Andrew just a larger, longer, taller, more experienced fighter. This is a very big test for Desmond. Des wants to get as high as he can get in mixed martial arts. And this is a big test for him.
Now let's go ahead and throw it up to our ring announcer, James Jefferson. James.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the 4th bout of the evening. For the 125-pound GPG World Championship, 5 rounds of 5-minute fighting with referee Vincent Dudley. In your blue corner, from Team Ascension out of Canada, with 6 wins and 4 defeats, Andrew Shea. And out of the red corner, from America Top Team, out of Eastern Pennsylvania, with 4 wins and 0 defeats, coming off of a Global Proving Ground win, Desmond Emedi Moore.
Desmond M80 Moore taking on Andrew the Animal Shea for the 125-pound title. This is looking to be fireworks from start to finish.
We got 5 5-minute rounds of action here in the flyweight division. Both these guys are finishers, so, you know, they have 25 minutes to work. I don't think they're going to need all of it.
You know, Desmond started as a dominant wrestler, like you said, added a lot of strikes in his arsenal, some, you know, great head movement right now. Same with Andrew the Animal Shea. Little feeling out process right now.
Shea's doing a really good job of lowering his stance and sort of fighting a taller fight here. So you'll notice that with the lower stance, he's able to deal with the level changes that Des Moore may bring to the table with double legs that he's known for, that blast double. But he's using his jab and footwork to sort of stay on the outside and maintain control of the inside of the ring. So this is very good strategy initially here from the Canadian, Mr. Shea.
And I talked to Desmond before the fight, and like I said, you know, he usually fights at 115 pounds. He's making the step up to 125 for the belt, so not struggling with a weight cut at all. The only thing he was, I guess you could say, complaining about is, like I said, he moved to Coconut Creek, Florida recently, so coming back up north, once he got off that plane, he was not a fan of our weather.
Well, I've been to Miami. It's hot. It's humid. They got mosquitoes the size of your fist. So, you know, to Des Moore, I say to each their own, I guess. But, you know, Des Moore throwing some heavy leather here. He's just having a hard time getting on the inside with those big power shots. Already a little bit of blood coming out of Andrew Shea's nose here. Must be a little bit motivating here for Des Moore, knowing that he can sort of damage his opponent so early on in the fight.
Especially predicting he was going to take him in the deep waters. Not saying it can't go there yet, but it has to be a confidence builder this early in the round. 3 minutes left, already having his opponent bloody.
Des Moore's got to be careful to defend those kicks. They can add up. I mean, over 25 minutes, you can't take too many of those leg kicks without it affecting your performance. You know, power coming from the ground up in your punching, if your leg is damaged, you're going to have a hard time generating that torsion and putting a lot of power into your fists.
Desmond at a size disadvantage here, but it doesn't seem to be affecting him thus far anyway.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that in almost every single fight that Des Moore's had, he's been the smaller fighter. So this is nothing new for him, but Andrew Shea is a really well-built and solid 125-pounder.
2 minutes and 20 seconds left in our opening round. Head kick from Andrew the Animal Shea.
far we've seen some really crisp striking for both these guys. I think this is a great pace for a first round in a championship bout. Both guys kind of feeling each other out, not expending too much energy, and trying to establish their style for the remainder of the fight.
For being the smaller fighter right now, it's Desmond Moore who's the one that's stalking. A little surprising.
Desmond doesn't want to stay too much on the outside, eat those jabs and kicks. So he's really, the onus is on Des right now to cover the distance and turn this into a brawl in the pocket. Andrew Shea, pretty effective though from the pocket in dealing damage. I'm surprised we haven't seen more elbow strikes here from either of the fighters, because there's just been a lot of opportunities for that.
Andrew looked like he was trying to change levels, but now having Desmond pinned against the cage, working his dirty boxing.
I imagine Desmond Moore is a very difficult fighter to take down. He's so low to the ground, his wrestling is so high. He does a really good job of defending the shot with his hands first. In wrestling, we always say that you have 3 lines of defense: the hands, the head, and then the hips. And he's using his hands very effectively here from the outside to shut down Shea's takedown attempts.
Like we were saying, Desmond's moving up in weight. Do you think that's playing a factor right now, considering Andrew has Des pinned up against the cage?
Absolutely. Absolutely plays a factor here. 10 pounds may not seem like a lot on paper, but it just, the cumulative effect of just moving an extra 10 pounds around really adds up, and especially over a 25-minute fight, that could be a very big deciding factor.
Des is able to escape the cage, regain center cage for both fighters. Back to action with Des stalking Andrew the Animal Shea again.
Des is doing a really good job of taking the fight to Shea and not giving him any space or time to breathe and set his own rhythm.
10 seconds left. Des gets the takedown. Andrew back up to his feet. 5 seconds left in the opening round of this title contest.
It's a really entertaining first round, and both fighters showcasing their skills here in this championship bout. I'm not really sure who won.
And we will be right back at GPG 22 after this.
Batteries Plus bulbs keep stacks of batteries for cars, cell phones, watches, plus light bulbs for lamps, can lights, and appliances right on hand. Did I mention we also repair smartphones? Batteries Plus bulbs. Trust the plus. Visit Batteries Plus bulbs today.
The MMA and Sports Extreme Show, Blood, Guts, and Glory get the inside story. Join us every week for in-depth coverage of your favorite pro MMA, boxing, bodybuilding, strongman, arm wrestling, and more. Our training and nutrition segments give you the winning edge. Tattoo Corner will keep you locked in your seat just to see what's next. Watch the show at MMASportsExpo.com or check your local listings. That's the MMA and Sports Extreme Show with JJ and the top names of combat, strength, and physique sports.
Welcome back to GPG 22. Legends and Rising Stars, our co-main event of the evening right now. Desmond M80 Moore taking on Andrew the Animal Shea, getting ready for our second round of this 125-pound title contest. Jackson, tell us a little bit about our first round.
First round, both fighters feeling each other out for the first couple minutes or so. Des got a little bit more comfortable stalking Shea down. Shea's been doing a really good job of landing his jab and his leg kick, but Des, with a big takedown right at the end of that round, may have stolen it.
Second round begins. Both fighters center cage, trading, feeling each other out just a little more. Andrew coming forward.
I was just about to say Andrew needs to utilize that rear uppercut a little bit more. His straight punches are going to whiff. Des Moore's head movement here, side to side, very difficult to pin down with a straight punch. But that uppercut will always be there, especially for a shorter fighter who's moving their head up and down.
Andrew was looking to change levels for the takedown. Des was able to circle out, now has Andrew Shea pinned against the cage, working his knees to the thigh.
I mean, I really appreciate right now how active Des Moore is right now with his attacks from the clinch. Like, he doesn't have a straight path to the ribcage or the torso, but he's taking the opportunity to work on that right leg of Shea. Each shot not doing too much in and of itself, but again, we're talking about a 25-minute fight. These things add up very quickly.
Yeah. Shea was pinned, was able to circle out, now has Des pinned against the cage. Working his dirty boxing a little bit, maybe looking to change levels, but Des starts to circle out, and Andrew starts throwing heavy hands to Desmond and maybe more.
Des Moore is in trouble.
Des got tagged, looking to regain composure. Head kick from Andrew Shea, another head kick.
Shea's got to be careful stalking Des down like this. Des can finish this fight, can turn the tides with one punch. Shea has to be careful, but he's finding a home with that right hand, whether straight or through the guard, coming with the uppercut.
Andrew is gaining confidence right now, stalking down Desmond Moore. Like you said, landing his right. But like you said, Desmond's always dangerous. It only takes one from him.
You can see Andrew Shea loading up that right hand, looking to bring it straight in or through the guard with that big rear uppercut. And this is exactly where Andrew Shea should be wrestling, against the cage against Des Moore. Des Moore's takedown defense from the outside is second to none in this division, but against the cage, he's unable to move his hips backwards. It's a different game. Andrew Shea successfully with that takedown off the cage. Beautiful technique from the Canadian.
Definitely seeming like a different game plan in the second round for Andrew Shea, and it's working for him. Andrew Shea on top right now in half guard.
You know, I'm not sure that I've ever seen Des Moore on his back.
I don't think I have.
He is such a strong wrestler and such an aggressive fighter and such a dominant fighter. This is new territory for him, as far as I know. And he needs to get up. And for every second he's on his back, he's losing this round.
Like we said, Desmond Moore is taking the step up from 115 to 125. And right now that weight is clearly showing. Andrew Shea on top, firing to the body.
Andrew Shea working a nice knee slice right to side control, but Des Moore timing his escape perfectly. Looks to have caught his breath, got a little bit pet back in his step. Beautiful leg kick from Des Moore out of Easton, Pennsylvania.
Andrew's getting pretty confident with his hands, letting him go. Oh, Des lands the right hand. Andrew switching levels. I wouldn't say that necessarily dazed Andrew, but definitely connected.
Andrew's again following that formula of getting Des to the cage, looking for the takedown. Big right hand from the Canadian Andrew Shea. Des Moore just a chin of granite, shaking it off. Still very active.
And Des is firing back every time Andrew gets one off. To Des's credit.
You know, Des making this move down to a top team in Florida. He's working with some of the top fighters in the world in his weight class, some of the top male and female fighters. So Shea's not bringing anything to the table that Des Moore hasn't dealt with, but Shea is a dangerous fighter, and Des has to be very careful not to get armbarred from this position. He needs to stack and or circle out of this armbar. He's in a lot of trouble here. Shea has to move quickly.
10 seconds left.
Oh my goodness.
Talk about saved by the bell. It looked like Andrew had it stretched out, but the bell rings. Des makes his way to the corner and narrowly escapes that round. Let's check out a replay of that round, Jackson.
So here we see Andrew Shea against the cage. Story of this round, some big shots from the Canadian, putting Des Moore on his heels. And Shea's sort of finding his rhythm in the grappling department here. Takedowns off the cage have been very successful for him. But you'll see Des Moore firing right back with that blast double. He has to be careful, though, that when he ends up in Shea's guard, he's got to pivot with the hips and watch the submission attempts.
That round seemingly was for Andrew Shea. Now, if you're cornering Des Moore right now, what are you telling him to change for the third round?
It's really tough. I think Des Moore was just on the receiving end of, I wouldn't say a lucky punch, but a big punch. Took him out of his element for a little bit of that second round, but he's doing a really good job of just being super aggressive and putting the pressure on Shea. So more takedowns, more damage from the top, and not letting Shea get his rhythm on his feet, not letting him open up with those punches. Des needs to interrupt with some big counter shots and put Shea back on his heels.
getting ready for the third round. Normal fights are only 3 5-minute rounds. Title fights are 5 5-minute rounds. So 2 more rounds after this one. Third round, Desmond M80 Moore taking on Andrew Animal Shea. A little bit of a feeling out process. Des fires first, but to no avail, not too much landing. Nice leg kick from Desmond Moore.
Shea seems to have lost a little bit of snap on his punches, but Des looked fresh. Des looks ready to go like he's caught a second wind.
Yeah, he got rocked last round, but hey, he recovered. He's looking strong. He's looking sharp. Nice combination from Andrew Shea.
If those punches are hurting Des Moore, he's not showing it. But those are some big shots. You can see Shea's putting a lot of power into that right hand, throwing it with just reckless abandon.
I would have to think Desmond's he's the smaller guy. He's used to being the smaller guy at the gym. He's used to sparring guys that are bigger than him. So I'm sure he's felt these shots many times, especially from a team like American Top Team.
There's nothing he hasn't seen at, now that he's been training American Top Team. That's the headquarters of one of the best fight teams in the world. He's got some, UFC champions training out of there. Robbie Lawler, the welterweight champion, and the ATT guy as well. Des Moore sort of content to strike it out on his feet, but he's being slowly edged out by the taller and longer fighter here in Shea. Des has been very successful with that last double. He needs to get back to his roots. And here we go.
Yeah, as you just called your shot. And look, like I said, when I was talking to Des before the fight, he said he's looking to drag it into deep water. So, I mean, I guess Desmond's getting everything he wanted and he predicted right now.
He's got to be careful here. He's in triangle territory.
Yeah.
Shea's doing a really good job of controlling the posture and keeping a nice high offensive guard. Des Moore needs to just get out of the guard, get to the mount or side control position, and inflict some real damage. He cannot hang out here.
Andrew Shea predicted the first round submission, but you know what? It can come at any time, and he's looking like he's trying to set it up now.
Watch for an armbar against Des Moore's left arm here. Shea seems to be setting that up, abandoning that, going to something else, but that high guard is very dangerous. That's where a lot of the submissions come from, and Des Moore's posture being broken, his head down. Wow. The referee standing him up. I thought that was enough action on the ground for both guys, but
surprised. Both fighters up, taking center cage, and Desmond's the first to throw. Ooh, nice straight left hand by Desmond.
And that's the classic Des Moore that we're used to seeing, that big takedown.
Desmond letting Andrew Shea up, not wanting to be on the ground, looking to stand it up, looking to trade and bang with the Canadian. A minute and a half left in this round.
Shea with a very tight body lock, but Des Moore quickly pummeling his way out of it and keeping it a little bit more 50-50 here in the clinch. But again, Des Moore's got to be careful not to spend too much time against the cage. The the judges see that as losing the fight.
Both fighters firing knees to each other's thigh, and Andrew Shea is looking like his left eye is a little bruised there. Definitely feel that in the morning.
Yeah, the result of some of the leg kicks that Des Moore's throwing. Not known for being a big kicker, but you can see the proof right there on Shea's thigh. Some big power from the hips of Des Moore.
Again, referee sees enough, separates him. Let's get the action back and started. Seconds left in this round. Des with the leg kick. Another leg kick out of Des. 10 seconds left. in this 125-pound.
Does more like a cat, just landing right back on his feet. Beautiful takedown defense from the Easton, PA native, now living in Coconut Creek, Florida, Desmond M80 Moore, rounding out our third round.
All right, Jackson, run us through this replay real quick, wrapping up the third round, Desmond Moore and Andrew Cseh.
You can see a big right hook there from Des Moore, setting up that huge takedown we saw here in the third round. Andrew Cseh conceding a little bit more on the grappling end, but still very dangerous off his back. Des Moore has made some really good adjustments in that third round, and I think edging out the Canadian Andrew Cseh.
All right, we'll be right back at GPG 22.
What does quality of life mean to you? Focus on what makes you feel good about yourself. Physical and mental strength to conquer challenges. Feeling energy and motivation. All encompassing optimum health. When you think you have nothing else to give. New Yellow. The all-new GPG Sports Complex has over 25,000 square feet of combat sports training and fitness. We specialize in mixed martial arts, boxing, kickboxing, and self-defense. Train like a fighter or become a fighter. Elite training plus the best live sporting events around. Start your free 1 week of training today by calling 609-923-2663 or stop by 1205 Route 73 in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, or go to MMAGymNJ.com.
Welcome back to GPG 22 for this 125-pound title contest. Desmond M80 Moore taking on Andrew the Animal Cseh. Going into our championship rounds now, round 4 in this 125-pound title contest.
This is uncharted territory for both these fighters. The fourth round, Des Moore used to those shorter fights, those explosive fights, all wins by TKO or KO. Never seen the end of the third round. Andrew Cseh, 2 decisions on his record, has been the distance, but now we're going to see which fighter is the better conditioned, better prepared for this title fight in the flyweight division.
Again, Desmond said he wanted to drag this fight in the deep waters, knowing he was stepping up in weight. You know, with the bigger fighter, thinking he would have to take it to the later rounds. He's got it now. Let's see how he can respond to that.
You can see a lot more spring in the step of Moore. Andrew Cseh slowing down considerably, still dangerous with that right hand, but this is an opportunity for Des Moore to start to dictate the pace of the fight and turn the tides. I would say at this point, Des Moore may have won 2 rounds. He may be down 1 round. It's hard to say. Definitely won the third round. The first 2 rounds up for contention. Cseh, I would say, definitely most likely winning that second round. Really, really tough to say, but you know, Des Moore's finding his rhythm now. Looking for the knockout, I would imagine, these last 2 rounds.
As they say, you never want to leave it to the hands of the judges. Might as well finish it yourself. We'll see how.
Big
Nice
right hand from
from
Des
Desmond Moore. As I say that, let's see how you can follow up on that right hand.
And that is a big confidence booster here in the fourth round. Finding a home for those big power punches is really going to make the difference in these championships rounds.
Des working the head movement. Andrew coming forward.
Andrew's got to be careful. He's getting a little lazy with that lead hand, and Des Moore having plenty of opportunities to counter over the top. As I say that, Cseh with a huge burst of offense here, culminating in a takedown attempt, but Des Moore, you know, the cat that he is, back on his feet, bounces right back up.
I am noticing a little bit Andrew's dropping his hands after he throws a barrage of punches. Could be bad news if Des picks up on that and fires back with a counter.
You know, Shay's taken some big shots from Des Moore, hasn't really been phased, so I'm wondering if Moore really has the power to knock out a guy like Andrew Cseh. Seems to have a really tough chin, unfazed by the damage he's taken so far in this fight, just a little bit slower in this fourth round.
2 minutes, 40 seconds left in the fourth round. Des pinned against the cage by Andrew the Animal Cseh. Keep calling him Animal. Working the knees to the thigh is Cseh.
Des Moore's doing a good a good job of firing back and answering back with every shot. But again, you don't want to hang out too long against the cage. I'm really liking that head kick from Cseh. It just hasn't found a home yet.
Des with some spring in his step, firing the leg kick. Andrew Cseh marching forward, still stalking. Des changes levels, has Cseh pinned up against the corner. Separates and fires the right hook.
Every single leg kick that Moore has thrown has landed. It's not his style to necessarily work the legs, but he's been very successful with those leg kicks. Not sure if that was head movement or a little bit rocked from Moore, but big shot there from the animal.
Both fighters landing big shots. And both fighters walking right through it.
Shea's doing really working really smart here in the third round, the fourth round. Very close in terms of the exchanges, but he's very effective at keeping Des Moore against the cage. That ties into what we call the ring control, which is one of the metrics here that decides the winner and loser of a round. This ring control from Cseh may be the deciding factor in the championship rounds.
And like you were saying, ring control, it's not that he's necessarily causing much damage, but he is in the better position, winning in the eyes of the judges in this position. Let's say that.
He's dictating the location and the pace of the fight as he keeps Des pinned to the cage. So, it's not doing very much in terms of stopping Des from striking, but it's just controlling and making it very difficult for Des to do much of anything.
10 seconds left in this fourth round of the 125-pound contest. Desmond M80 Moore and Andrew Animal Cseh. One more round to go in this title contest.
Some great work from both fighters in that fourth round. You can see them starting to slow down a little bit, but Des really did come out real strong in the beginning of that fourth round.
All right, let's take a look at the replay real quick.
See a big overhand right there from Des Moore, followed by that left hook. He needs to do a better job, just like this, of countering that lazy lead hand that Cseh is pumping out there in these late rounds. Shea's still very dangerous with that right hand, but Moore's getting a little savvy to it, and you notice that big counter punch off of that rear uppercut. So I'd definitely give that round to Des Moore, but in the eyes of the judge, it's really hard to tell because that cage control that Cseh had could be something that tips the scales in his favor.
Again, I've said it before, being a judge is one of those jobs that I would not want, and this is the kind of fight that makes that reason just.
Both fighters with 5 more minutes to take it out of their hands as we enter this fifth and final round of the championship fight.
Who will take the vacant 125-pound strap, Desmond M80 Moore or the Canadian Andrew Animal Cseh, getting ready for the fifth round of this title contest. Both fighters touch gloves, getting right back in the action. Calling out some jabs, and Des follows with a leg kick. Andrew responds with his own leg kick.
Very impressive conditioning for both these fighters here. 25 minutes is a long time to hit and get hit, to squeeze and push and punch and kick. And both guys looking very fresh coming into this fifth round.
Like you said, hitting, get hit, moving, scrambling. We've seen a little bit of everything in this fight, and they are both coming forward like it's the first round.
Yeah,
very impressive.
You know, I love Dez's approach right now. I think he could be doing a little bit more on the grappling side to put Cseh on his back. That's a very dominant way to control an opponent, to show the judges, hey, I'm winning this fight. And instead, he's sort of content to strike with Cseh, and that's just a risky proposition. Neither fighter really edging the other one out too much. Shea has been landing a little bit more of those big shots, those crowd-pleasing shots. And here we see another advance here from the Canadian. Des Moore with some tight counterpunching, but just very tricky to unravel all this action to really determine which fighter is coming out on top.
Des throws the straight right with Andrew returning with the leg kick. 3 minutes and 15 seconds left in this 125-pound title contest. Desmond M80 Moore and the Canadian Andrew Animal Shea. Very entertaining fight thus far.
You can see Andrew, the Animal Shea, stalking Moore down. That right hand cocked and loaded a la Dan Henderson, looking for that big bomb, either under and through the guard with that uppercut or straight through with that cross. But Des Moore, ever the consummate wrestler here, just impossible to take off of his feet.
Des had a great sprawl. Andrew followed up, and on one leg right now, Des is still difficult to take down.
It's a tough position for Shea. Des just such a strong wrestler, such a strong core. It's almost a losing proposition to hang out on that leg. It's very, very exhausting to try and take somebody down. And when they can drag that process out, it can make it very difficult for you. But then again, the conditioning of both these athletes doesn't seem to wane too much from round to round, from exchange to exchange. So conditioning doesn't seem to have been too much of a factor here.
With less than 2 minutes left in this fight, it's not a good look for Des to be pinned against the corner in the judges' eyes.
And Shea here pushing the action with another takedown attempt. And again, it's not necessarily about whether you take them down or not, but the very act of trying is very favorable in the eyes of the judges. And it looks like, based on how this fight's been going, we will see a decision at the end of this round rather than some sort of finish.
Just a little over a minute left in this 125-pound contest for the vacant belt. Eager to see who takes this one. Desmond's having a hard time getting off the cage right now. Andrew Shea is very dominant in this position of holding Des.
It's a smart approach. You know, you want to finish strong. You want to finish in a dominant way. It's not very exciting, but it's very dominant.
Yeah.
And Des Moore really needs to be creating some space, framing out his opponent. You'll notice that he's allowing Andrew Shea to control what we call the head position. Andrew Shea's forehead in Des's jaw, in his temple, creating a strong offensive angle here for those takedown attempts.
Andrew gets Des to the ground. Des gets right back up, but only 20 seconds left in this contest.
Some beautiful takedown defense here from Moore.
Take a look at the back of Andrew Shea. Yeah, he has Desmond pressing into cage right now with 10 seconds left, but that leg of Andrew Shea is not going to feel good tomorrow when he gets.
No, he's going to have some trouble walking. I mean, I've been there. I've seen worse. I've experienced worse, but that is bad, and he's going to have some trouble walking. My criticism here would be Des Moore so successful in attacking that leg. I mean, the proof is right there on his thigh, but should have done a little bit more with that.
All right, we'll be right back for your official decision. Desmond Moore versus Andrew Shea at GPG 22.
Let Arizona Designs grow your company. Our creative team can expand your company's image with your unique look. Arizona Designs will apply your logo to custom business cards, banners and signs, billboards, social media, and let's not forget our award-winning vehicle wraps. Market your company 24 hours a day with a look you will be proud of that earns you business. Call 1-800-600-1412 for a free marketing and branding consultation.
The MMA and Sports Extreme Show, Blood, Guts, and Glory get the inside story. Join us every week for in-depth coverage of your favorite pro MMA, boxing, bodybuilding, strongman, arm wrestling, and more. Our training and nutrition segments give you the winning edge. Tattoo Corner will keep you locked in your seat just to see what's next. Watch the show at MMASportsExpo.com or check your local listings. That's the MMA and Sports Extreme Show with JJ and the top names of combat, strength, and physique sports.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Fighting. Judge Mason scores the fight 48-47 for the blue corner. Judge Barino scores the fight 49-46 for the red corner. Judge Saden scores the round, the 5 rounds 49-46 for a split decision to the winner. In the blue corner, Andrew Cseh!
Wow. Talk about being all over the place. One fight, one judge had it 49-46. That's 4 rounds to 1 for the red, and the other had it 4 rounds to 1 for the blue. Just a really difficult fight to score.
All right, after that contest, let's throw it up to the man on the streets, Bob Maloney, who was with our winner, Andrew Cseh. Bob?
Okay, Andrew Cseh, I'm sure that makes a trip down from Canada very worthwhile. You go through the championship rounds, 5 rounds, gutted out a victory, gave Desmond his first loss. How you feel right now with that belt around your waist?
Man, this is a dream come true. First off, everybody here, let's give a big hand, big shout out to Desmond Moore. This dude's a beast. He gave me a tough run for my money, and I'm happy to come out here and perform for you guys, so thank you very much.
Well, it was an awesome display. Like I said, you went to the championship rounds. Anytime you go 5 rounds, it's really a test of yourself. I'm sure you're happy, not with just a victory, but getting through 5 rounds is a huge accomplishment. We look forward to you coming back and defending your belt at GPG. Congratulations, Andrew Cseh, on your championship.
Thank you so much. I'd just like to give a shout out to my coach, best coach in Canada right there, Chris Bonfoco. Everybody at Team Ascension, Modern Vision, Mixed Martial Arts, all the coaches, all the trainers, all the little kids I train that are watching at home that should be in bed right now, but I'll forgive you in class, okay? No burpees for this guy, all right?
The GPG 125-pound champion, Andrew Cseh.
That was just a gritty fight from both fighters here. You know, as I said, one judge giving it 4-1 to Dez, one judge giving it 4-1 for Cseh. It's just a really tough fight to score, but here, Cseh doing a good job of ring control and inflicting damage, and I think that's what eked this out for him in the championship fight.
And we will be right back with your main event at GPG 22.